Diane in Denmark here. I am not in Denmark today. Do not adjust your sex. I am in beautiful Japan. We're in Tokyo. This is my second visit to Tokyo. I love Japan. And I'm starting off here at Sensoji, which is one of the biggest temples. And don't worry about the smoke behind me. It's on purpose, and you waft it into yourself for health and happiness. So that's why everybody's wafting the smoke towards themselves. Anyway, what I'm going to do today is take you on a little tour of the sights and sounds of Tokyo, what we have been up to, a bit of everything. Anyway, konnichiwa, hello, and let's go. Okay. So let's take a wee wander around at Sensoji Temple. Actually, there are quite a few temples here, and you can come in various gates. The Sensoji Temple is located in the Asukasa district, and this is actually where we were staying. We had an apartment with two double rooms and a little kitchen and bathroom. So anyway, and when you come into the area, you'll see there are lots of little shops selling trinkets and kimonos and soybean paste, buns and chocolate and all sorts of things. And then you will get a bit closer. And as you walk along, you'll notice there are lots of school parties here and people in traditional kimonos, and really it's a really busy area all day. We're also here at night. I'll try and put some photos of that later, but it really seems to be like a pilgrimage place. So you walk past all the stalls, and there's everybody with their kimonos on, very, very beautiful, and everybody's taking photos. And actually we were really lucky with the weather. We thought we were going to have a lot of rain when we were there, but actually it turned out to be very mild. It was about 20 degrees Celsius. Anyway, when you've gone past all the little shops, here we are coming up to one of the main gates. So there's a temple on the other side. And we're going to walk through here. Try not to bump into anybody who's taking photos. And this is another one of the kind of entrances to the main temple place, the shrine. Here we are. Mind your head. And then when you walk through here, it kind of changes completely. And the first thing that you'll notice is a kind of, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it on the back of this video, but a lot of shaking noise going on. And we thought, what on earth was that? And it's because they have a lot of fortune teller things here. The Japanese love to have their fortune told, and you shake, there's a shaker, and out comes a stick. You can maybe see them there shaking away. And you pull out the stick and it's got a number on it, and then you pull your fortune and read your fortune. And if it's a good fortune, you keep it, and if it's a bad one, you attach it to that little stand there and let it blow away in the wind. And then the next thing you notice is the smell of the smoke, the incense. And the smoke is burned here. That's people lighting the incense and then taking it over to the main thing. And then you kind of waft it towards you for good health and happiness. But if you're not a smoker, it's not a very pleasant smell. Anyway, so that's the kind of fortune-telling area, and then you can see people who are queuing up to get into the main temple. Now, I'm not going to go in there. Oh, you can see people wafting the smoke away. But I'm just going to give you a little view of that. There you go. But we won't go into that temple today. I will take you into another temple. And of course, I couldn't arrive in Tokyo without keeping up with my routines. So here's our little bathroom, and you'll see there, oh, hello, good morning. I've just got myself ready for the day and about to put on my load of laundry. But of course, it is a Japanese washing machine. And I don't speak Japanese. But anyway, we're really pleased to have the little washing machine. It's a top loader. And the company where we're staying, they had left some of those tabs for laundry tabs for going in it, and luckily there was a little picto chart showing which ones start, and then I went for the speedy wash. I managed to work that out, and we did a load of laundry every day, and it took about 30 minutes, so that was very simple. And one of the things I've been in Japan before, one of the kind of standard things is when you're in a hotel, they will give you toothbrushes. There's always a toothbrush there for you. And I don't know if I showed it there, but it comes with a tiny little thing of toothpaste and hairbrushes and also razors. So you don't need to take that with you. That is already there. And then the other fun thing about staying in Tokyo is that most hotels and apartments, you don't just have a shower or a bath. You actually have a shower bath room. So that whole room is a wet room. So you shower inside and you can see you've got the the shampoo and the conditioner and the soap, and you can turn up the temperature, and you can either have the water coming out straight down on the ground or use the shower attachment. And you'll see there's no shower curtain, and there's also a button for filling up the little mini bath. So just make sure that you don't put your clothes out there because everything will get completely wet. So anyway, that is us ready for the day. So here we are at another area in Tokyo, which is Shibuya, and you may have heard or seen Shibuya. This is known as the Shibuya Crossing or the Shibuya Scramble. Now we were here quite early in the morning when we first arrived, but apparently there's something like 1,000 people cross in all directions every time the lights change. And then one of the fun things about being in Japan is you just never know what you're going to bump into. Here we have the Mario Kart, so you can hire a Mario Kart and drive around Tokyo dressed up as Mario or Princess Peach. There we are. And everybody else just think it's completely normal. Here we are in Shibuya, you know, we've got Tower Records, all the big stores, and here we have the Mario Kart people ready to set off. I mean, it just looks so much fun, and we saw them all over Tokyo. Doot, off they go, give them a wave. Bye. Okay, let's go somewhere else. So getting around Tokyo is really easy. They have the cleanest taxis I've ever seen. Also, everything runs to time. We were on the train, we were on the metro, we were on the underground, the subway, and everything just works like clockwork. And the other thing that I love about Japan is nobody eats on the street. You don't see people walking around, you know, drinking lattes and eating sandwiches. It's pristine clean, and I like the fact that they actually sit down and eat. They don't kind of do it walking along the street. Anyway, let's move on to another area, and this is in Ueno Park, and it's another temple, a little shrine. And we were invited in by the monks, and we took off our shoes and left them at the door. And they very kindly gave us some bookmarks and some information about the place. They were getting ready for some kind of ceremony. And there's me in my stocking-soled feet. Remember, don't wear your holy socks when you go to Japan. You're taking your shoes off all the time. And my daughter and I, we'd been in Ueno Park before last year and just saw a small part of it. Ueno Park is an oasis in the middle of Ueno. It's got a huge lakes with lily pads. There is a zoo where you can see the famous pandas. But when we went with my husband and son, we decided to do something else in Ueno Park. There's also, oh gosh, there's everything. There's museums, there's concerts going on. But we wanted to go down to the lake and go on these little swan boats that you can cycle around on the lake, and apparently it's a bit of a thing that you do on, you know, like on a Sunday, and you go there with a date. So anyway, we went down to the lake, and you can see there were two different types of boats, and I said to the family, I definitely want to go on a swan. So off on a swan we went. So I was in one of the swans with my son, and my daughter went on one of the boats with my husband. So there we are, cycling around on the water. It's all pedal power, and it's a really fantastic way to do something a bit different. There we are, there's the swan, my beautiful swan. And the weather in Tokyo for us, they had said it was going to be quite kind of mixed weather and we'd get a lot of rain, but actually we were very lucky. It was about 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. I can't remember what that is in Fahrenheit, I need to look it up. But we just needed kind of light jackets. So anyway, that was such a fantastic day to be out on the water. And then the next thing, once we came off the boat at the entrance to the park, you will see they even have panda donuts. The man makes them in this very special holder. There we are, and they come out about 36 of them at a time, so you buy a bag of 18, so we enjoyed those back at our apartment with a cup of tea. Now, one of the highlights of going to Tokyo in Japan, of course, is the food. And my husband found this fantastic place. It's underneath the train tracks at Ginza Station. And it was really quite difficult to find, but you're actually sitting like in a tunnel, and they give you a list of the yakitori, you know, the sticks. And it was very basic. It was very funny because they came up and poured me a glass of wine, and they pour it right over the edge of the glass and into the little saucer. And the other thing about Japan is a lot of the places they actually smoke inside, so be prepared for that. We also had soba noodles, and we had other types of ramen. This is from our famous place called Ichiran, where you sit in little booths and get your own little booth to sit in with your water tap. And there's my bowl of noodles. And after that meal, we went off to do some karaoke. That was such a good fun to sing karaoke, the whole family in a little booth. And more food, we tried Japanese McDonald's, and I had a crispy ebi burger, a prawn burger, which of course we don't get here in Denmark. And we also had some food from Singapore. That was our lunch one day. And the next one, this one was also one that my husband found. It was, I can't remember the name of it, but it is the Japanese barbecue where you grill your own food. We sat down on the floor, and they had these two huge grills at the table, and they came with kimchi and some dressing, and then this huge plate of meat and offal, which we fried, barbecued ourselves, and it was absolutely delicious. It was very, very hot, as you can imagine, but that was really one of the highlights of the trip. And here you can see Asukasa, that's the area where we were staying by night. And it got dark quite early. It was already dark by about 5:30 in the evening. But of course, it just makes everything else look fantastic with all the bright lights. The shops are open very late. And we did do a small spot of shopping when we were in Japan, in Tokyo. Now, this is actually filmed at an electronics shop in the Akihabara area, which is the area where they do all the different electronics and all the nerdy stuff. And this was fascinating for us. Look at this. Now, this is something my son bought. It is an ice cube tray, and it's Han Solo, trapped in the, what was it, in the carbon. And the other thing that I looked at was, for putting your boiled egg in and shaping it like a Star Wars trooper. But anyway, I didn't bother with that. But if you are a nerd, you will certainly want to go into one of these stores. It's like 4 or 5 floors full of Star Wars stuff, chopsticks, all the different droids. They also have things by the Marvels characters, Studio Ghibli, you name a cartoon character or anime character, and they have some kind of gadgets or merchandise. Anyway, I had a little look at the stuff for Iron Man, and I almost bought an Iron Man keyring, but I didn't. That wasn't my souvenir. And every night we went to a different part of Tokyo, 30 million inhabitants, so it's a huge sprawling city. These images are from Shinjuku, which, as you can kind of see, is jumping and flashing. Lots of karaoke bars, lots of entertainment. And a thing that's really popular in Tokyo are these arcades where, there are gaming arcades where you can sit and play Mario Kart, and all different weird stuff. And they also have these grabber machines. I didn't win anything, which was probably just as well, because I don't think I'd be able to get back in my suitcase. I ended up buying a tea towel, as usual. But when you're tired of all the kind of flashy lights and the noise, then the thing that I would recommend that you must do in Tokyo is going to an onsen. Now, onsen is hot spring thermal baths, and you go in and you take off your shoes, and when you check in, you choose a yukata, which is a kimono, the men and the ladies. You change into your yukata and you wander around the place. It's like a little theme park. And here we are. This is outside, the thermal baths outside. And this part is mixed, where it's males and females. So we're walking around here with my with my son, my husband, everybody's in their yukata. It was a fantastic experience, and it's very warm water, and you walk on the stones. It's all good for your feet. Just remember and lift up your yukata so you don't get it wet. And then you can go inside to the separate parts, which are for men and for women, and it's the most fantastic spa experience. And once you've been in the baths, there are restaurants, and you can have a beer, and they have little games that you can play, and some arcade games, and do some shopping, or eat dessert, one of the famous crepes that they kind of roll into a little cone. And it's just the most wonderful experience. My daughter and I were there 2 years ago, and it's definitely the highlights of the trip. Anyway, I'm going to round up now, and I can't even show you, a tenth of what we did. We did so much on this trip, and as I said before, I don't film when I'm with the family, so you're just getting snippets here. But we went to the Borderless Digital Art exhibition. We were also in the parks. We went into the Emperor's Park, and I mean, there's just so much to see and do in Tokyo, and I really cannot do it justice in one short video. But anyway, I hope I've given you some inspiration. But the main things for me are the onsen, the bathing, the beautiful parks, the food, and my favourite temple, which is in Nihonbashi, nestled in amongst all the business district and the skyscrapers. And this was the area where my daughter and I stayed in last time, and it's our very favourite temple. So anyway, time for me to say sayonara Tokyo. Just show you a few pictures. This is where we were staying at Asukasa. You could see the Tokyo Sky Tree in the background. There's the river, and I hope you enjoyed seeing some sights and sounds, and hopefully inspired you to go and have a wee trip to Tokyo sometime. But anyway, time for us to get back on the bus and back on the train and back on the plane and get back to Denmark. Oh, the other thing that was funny for us is that the drive on the left. So it was a bit like being back in Scotland. So Diane in Denmark saying, or Diane in Tokyo saying, live long and prosper. May the Tokyo and Japanese hygge be with you, and I shall see you back on the other side. Okay, bye for now.